started on the road right after finishing the workday. Our car was packed with suitcases and some room dividers to gift our friend. The room dividers had to sit between us, which blocked our view of each other, and even our feet were completely surrounded by bags. We headed west out of Colorado, past the beautiful pines and the lovely mountains, and eventually we hit desert, which had really cool striped rocks. I had to work from my laptop in the car to finish out my hours and all throughout this trip, and I used a hotspot from my phone to do that. But it gave me something to do to pass the time. Road snacks are a must, and you can see the dividers between us here. After miles and miles of nothingness, we finally stopped for gas to find a strange new friend greeting us. But at the end of the day, we weren't prepared for the test that would come next. In the morning, we packed up our stuff again. You can see the lodge that we stayed at here in Utah. I had taken some work meetings in the room in the morning, which delayed us a little bit in our schedule. We stayed close to Zion so that we could check it out. However, we realized that the cost and the time frame wasn't really going to work for us anymore, so we scouted the map for local quick hikes we could take instead. Our car was once again stuffed, and it was really hot and breezy. And eventually we found a gorgeous area that had red sand and red rock, so we paid the entrance fee and found a simple hike. The walls here had an almost cave-like feeling to it, and we busted out our camera to practice with and take as many pictures as possible. The sand was so soft and satisfying. My husband climbed the walls and even helped some children do the same while I took his picture. I ended up with sand stuck to my legs from the sunscreen, and I kept it as a temporary souvenir. We drove through the rest of the park to take in the view. We went up to this mountain, and although the plan was to use my drone, it was way too windy, and at one point we worried about falling off the ledge if we got too close. Then we were back on the road, and I was back to working from the car. However, we hit another snafu. The roof of the car that holds the roof rack was coming up. It made driving inside the car extremely loud, and we were worried that the roof rack was going to fly off completely. I tried to hold it from inside until we could pull over, but it was very difficult, and once we did pull over, my husband used straps to tie it down. This process repeated quite a few times over the hours and hours of driving, so it was a little nerve-wracking. Many hours later, we made it to Vegas. We've been here many times, so we just wanted to make a quick stop. We went inside the Paris hotel since we hadn't been there before, and to be honest, it was pretty underwhelming compared to others on the strip. It was also darker and dingier than I expected. There was one restaurant that was pretty cool to walk by. Someone famous owns it, but I forget who. After much searching, we decided on a restaurant on the strip, which turns out to be one we've been to before. We actually went there last time. They take amazing table photos, so you have to get one. Our next stop after crossing into California was in this retro McDonald's. It's located inside of a train car. I love retro vibes, so I knew that we had to stop here. It was so insanely windy that it almost hurt walking into the place. And it was cool, but it wasn't what I expected. It was hard to find the entrance, and to be honest, I felt really unsafe being in there. Finally, we made our way to Hollywood, where we were staying with a friend. She showed off her home, which is decorated with all abandoned street art and furniture. Heading back home, we took a different route to see different things. This time we didn't have the room dividers between us and the car, which was awesome, but we traded it for the custom painting that my friend made. It was too large to fit in the car, so we carefully wrapped it in blankets and strapped it to the roof and hoped for the best. We traveled along Route 66 and stopped at the only gas station available. I walked into the bathroom on a girl because she didn't lock the door, and then we bought the most expensive tank of gas ever. They really take advantage of being the only option around. Lo and behold, the roof was an issue again, so my husband tried to tape it down while on the side of the road. I wanted to stop at a cute Route 66 diner, but after finding a town full of Trump flags and signs, we decided to look elsewhere. We stumbled upon something way better. The owner of this restaurant makes your entire ordering experience a stand-up comedy special. Next, the gas station we stopped at had the coolest statues ever. And then we were off to the Grand Canyon and there was wildlife everywhere. There was a quick movie to watch and then we were out at the lookouts. I was told it was just a hole in the ground, but this really took my breath away. The more you look, the more there is to see. Standing near the edge, even with a railing, was giving me a woozy feeling. So we took plenty of pictures, hit up the gift shop for a fun magnet, and then my husband ventured off to a dangerous lookout while the tourists all clapped for him. Back on the road again. It was nice to see that there were mountains again and that the desert was starting to fade behind us. I thought we were going to an actual forest, but when we got there, there wasn't even a tree in sight. The Petrified Forest used to be a forest in the age of the dinosaurs, but now you can find all kinds of cool remnants. We drove through the massive park, found cool striped rocks, easy paths, and even rocks with ancient drawings etched into them. I found a happy face, and it made me smile that we were drawing happy faces even way back then. We ended the night, as you should, at a BJ's with a light-up bathtub drink, complete with a rubber ducky, as well as a giant pretzel. Last day of our trip. We went to the smallest gas station I've ever seen. There were only 2 pumps and it was in the middle of a neighborhood. It was so nice seeing more mountains and greenery and just the environment that kind of resembled Colorado and why I love it so much. It did start to rain a bit and I was worried that the painting on the roof was getting wet, but luckily we drove through it quite quickly and it did survive that rain. It was too expensive to ship, so this road trip was really the only way we could get it home. Totally worth it, and we had quite the adventure together.